Fatima Hassan turned into a monster in the From Season 4 finale, and this change sets up more for Season 5 than most fans expect. Fatima started as the happiest resident of Colony House. She helped Julie Matthews settle into the township, showed her the Brundles, and told her the story of her father's death back in Iran. She promised herself she would not let monsters scare the life out of her. Her arc looked simple back then. Season 3 changed her path forever, when she became pregnant under conditions no doctor around her understood. The Smiley monster emerged from her placenta after birth, and a ghostly woman carried her baby into the tunnels beneath the town. From this moment forward, Fatima carried a link to a monster no other resident shares. Season 4 built on this link and turned her body into a battleground. Dark veins spread across her stomach after she used a hive-mind connection to Smiley to save Kenny. She grew cold, her cravings shifted, and her anger rose in ways she failed to recognize in herself. Ellis and Marielle tried to support her, but neither one had an answer for what her body was doing to her. The show planted every clue for a change nobody wanted to say out loud. The finale confirmed the outcome. The man in yellow forced Fatima to drink Sophia's blood, and the process finished what Season 4 started. Her hands stretched into claws and her face twisted, and she stood among the nocturnal creatures as one of them. The man in yellow used the same method on Clara for years, controlling her through his blood while she posed as a background character at Colony House. Fatima now carries the same kind of connection to him, tied through blood rather than through choice. Here is the detail setting Fatima apart from every other transformation the show gave viewers. She stayed aware. She fought against the other monsters instead of joining them and bought Boyd, Jade, Tabitha, and Ellis the time they needed to escape the tunnels. No resident across 4 seasons turned into one of these creatures and kept a working mind. Her transformation breaks the pattern the show built since Season 1, where turning into a monster meant losing every trace of the person underneath. Before she gave in completely, Fatima told Ellis to remember who she was. This line reads as a request, not a farewell. She wanted her husband to hold on to every version of her. The young proxy who helped Julie adjust to the township, the wife who married Ellis in a small ceremony at Colony House, the mother who lost her baby to the tunnels, and now the creature standing in front of him. The show built this theme across every character on the list. Boyd changed since Season 1, hardened by loss after loss. Donna's maternal instincts grew sharper the longer she stayed in town. Fatima's change goes further than either of theirs, yet the underlying idea stays the same. The township reshapes everyone who stays inside its borders, and none of them return to the people they used to be. Season 4 gave viewers a rule for how this place works. Sophia told Clara how someone performs a ritual matters as much as the ritual itself. Jade and Tabitha now hold the bones after years of searching for them, but holding the bones does not guarantee they know the correct process for using them. Fatima's new body might hand them a path toward this process. She shares a working connection with Smiley and the other creatures now, a link built through blood and through the transformation itself. If this bond lets her sense how the monsters move, communicate, or think as a group, she holds knowledge no living resident has ever accessed before. Her position raises a serious problem too. The residents lost every talisman protecting Colony House and the church, and neither the man in yellow nor the monsters wasted time acting on this loss. Without those talismans, the creatures walk into buildings meant to keep them out. Fatima stands as the only line of defense the group has left against a wave of monsters closing in, and one person, even a monster with a human mind still working inside her, will not hold the line alone for an entire season. Elgin's death adds another thread to this Season 5 setup. He came close to uncovering Sophia's true identity before she killed him at the diner, but he left behind a photograph tying her to the man in yellow. The residents do not know about this photograph yet, and finding the photograph stands as a likely early move for Season 5. Fatima's position among the monsters now gives the show a second path toward exposing Sophia, since she moves through the same world the man in yellow controls. The word Anghkooey, whispered by the children throughout the show, carries a possible link to Fatima's plea as well. Nobody has translated this word on screen yet, but every hint around the children ties back to memory and to what gets carried forward after death or transformation. Fatima's request to Ellis to remember who she was before the change fits this pattern closely. The show set up a mystery around forgetting and remembering long before Fatima's transformation, and her arc gives this mystery a face and a voice. Julie's story-walking ability sat mostly unused throughout Season 4, and this gap points toward a larger role for her in the final season. Julie holds the power to step into memories from past cycles of the town, and past residents facing the same monsters, the same rituals, and the same losses likely already worked through some version of Fatima's situation. If Julie pushes past her fear and walks through these older stories, she might find out whether a transformation like Fatima's ever reversed before, or whether every monster wearing a human face in past cycles stayed a monster until the cycle ended. Every monster on this show carries a distinct personality, and this detail matters for guessing what comes next for Fatima. Smiley laughs. The cowboy stays silent and methodical. Fatima brings a human history none of the other monsters carry into this ecosystem, and her strength as a person combines with whatever instincts come bundled with her new body. Nobody on the show, including the people making the series, has settled on the full shape of these traits yet. Season 5 stands as the first real chance to show audiences what a monster carrying Fatima's memories, loyalty, and fear looks like in action, and whether her human side ever slips during a fight. The larger conflict behind Fatima's change grew clearer by the end of the finale too. The man in yellow met the boy in white face to face, and neither side hid from the other anymore. These two figures ran their game from the background for 4 seasons, shaping outcomes without stepping into the light themselves. Their meeting signals a shift toward direct confrontation between them, and the people behind the show have already promised an ending built around this fight reaching its final stage. Fatima's transformation reads as one move inside a longer contest between these two figures, a contest running long before Jade, Tabitha, or the Matthews family ever set foot in this town. The ending of this cycle carries a cost most fans have not fully worked through. If Jade and Tabitha complete the correct ritual and break the cycle holding the town together, every monster tied to this version of the township dies along with the cycle. Fatima falls under this outcome as well, according to everything the show has established about how these cycles end. Her humanity gives the residents a fighting chance against the creatures hunting them, but the same choice saving the survivors ends her existence for good. The trade sitting underneath this final season carries real weight. The residents need Fatima's help to survive the monsters and the man in yellow, yet success against the township removes her from the story permanently. The same way every past cycle wiped out everyone tied to the town once the board reset. Season 5 has to answer whether Fatima keeps any control once her transformation settles fully into her, and whether her presence among the monsters buys the residents an advantage large enough to matter against a force running this game for generations. A body built from human strength and monstrous instinct makes her unlike any character the show has given audiences before. She might turn into the strongest asset the residents have against the man in yellow, or she might turn into his clearest weapon against the people she spent 4 seasons protecting. Either direction changes the stakes of a final season, already carrying enough weight to close out the whole story of this town. The people running this show described their approach to body horror in recent interviews, pointing to Fatima's arc as the clearest example of this idea on screen. Every character transforms after enough time in this town, and the writers built this transformation theme into small moments long before Fatima's finale scene. Victor survived a brutal attack early in the show and came out changed by the experience, carrying his fear differently than before. Donna arrived guarded and distant, and motherhood inside this town pulled a softer side out of her over time. Fatima's transformation pushes this idea past the emotional level and into her physical body, giving the show a direct, visible version of a theme running underneath every character arc since Season 1. Her case stands apart from the others because her change carries a body count and a monster attached to her name, rather than a shift in personality alone. Kenny's rescue deserves more attention than the moment received during the Season 4 broadcast. Fatima reached him through her hive-mind link to Smiley before her body finished changing. And this rescue proved her connection worked as a two-way channel rather than a one-directional drain on her body. If this channel stays open after her full transformation, Fatima might reach other residents in danger the same way, turning her position among the monsters into an early warning system for the people she left behind. A monster feeding information back to the survivors would break every rule the man in yellow built his control around. And this possibility alone makes Fatima's fate one of the biggest questions heading into the final season. Whether Fatima's transformation stays permanent sits as the single biggest open question fans keep raising, and the show has given no clear answer either way. A body changed this fully, through blood forced on her rather than through the same natural process behind Smiley's birth, might follow different rules than the transformations viewers already understand. If the correct ritual reverses the curse holding the monsters in place, Fatima's human side might come back fully once the cycle breaks, rather than dying along with the creatures around her. This possibility gives the writers a way to reward Fatima's sacrifice instead of erasing her. And a final season built around closing every open story thread makes this outcome a real option rather than wishful thinking from fans attached to her character. Fatima's arc started with a woman promising herself she would not let monsters take her life. Her final season begins with her standing among the monsters she feared since childhood. This turn gives the show a chance to answer its oldest question directly. The people trapped in this town either lose themselves completely to the place holding them, or something human survives no matter what shape a person ends up wearing by the end.